As the 1989 season dawned, the Dolphins were a team with as many questions as answers. Critics dismissed Dolphins' hopes as just so much flag waving and blue skies. But oh, what a difference a year makes.
We'll see what we're made out of.
Marino drops the throw, straight back. He's going deep across the near side. It is caught for a touchdown. Great grab by Mark Duper.
For the '89 Dolphins were made of something greater than the sum of their parts.
Logan will grab it at the 4, straight out to the 5, the 10, the 15 to the 20, 25 to the 30. Beats one, he's in the open. Here's 50. He's at the 40, 35, 30, down to the 20, the 10, down to the 5, and a touchdown.
But Logan really goes. I mean, he smokes him.
Great grabs and dynamic dashes were de rigueur, but only a subplot in the Dolphins' tale. The real story in South Florida is one of a team's coming of age, with a bevy of bruising young defenders and hardcore hitters. Young players like Louis Oliver, Pro Bowl tight end Farrell Edmonds, and rookie running back Sammy Smith. The '89 Dolphins lacked neither courage nor pride, guts nor grace, as their season was nothing less than a prelude to glory. In the season opener against divisional rival Buffalo, Miami came out and played with more enthusiasm than a kid at the circus.
Here's the snap of the 10, and they're coming after him. Here's the kick, it's blocked. Dolphins recover for a touchdown.
The good times soon spread to the offense, where Dan Marino played ringmaster.
Snap, Marino looks left, fires for the corner of the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Andre Brown is the man who caught it for the TD.
Late in the fourth quarter, the Dolphins seemed all but assured of an opening day win.
This is the last play. Dolphins lead 24-20. There won't be time for anything else. And here's the snap. He's going to run with the football. He gets in for the score. The Bills win it. Tough loss for Miami.
Toughest I've ever seen. Really.
It was also the 10th loss in a row against AFC East opponents. But if Miami's maestro on offense seemed to be searching for answers, he found them in short order. Marino's third touchdown pass of the day gave him 200 TDs, faster than any quarterback in history, as the Dolphins won 24-10. But it was the emergence of number 91, Jeff Cross, as a first-class pass rusher, which may have been the day's best news. Cross collected 3 of the Dolphins' 7 sacks against New England, and he didn't stop there. At 6'4", 270 pounds, Cross has the physique to get physical, punishing enemy runners nearly as often as quarterbacks, but not quite. Cross led the team in quarterback sacks with 10, and is the driving beat powering the Miami Pound Machine. The Miami Pound Machine. To NFL quarterbacks, it's an all too vivid description of the Dolphins' young and improving defense. With bright prospects like Cross and T.J. Turner, teamed with old pros like Hugh Green, Barry Krause, and number 70, Brian Sochet, Miami rediscovered how to get to the quarterback. Despite missing the first 6 games of the season, it didn't take linebacker John Offerdahl any time at all to work out the kinks and rediscover the joy of hitting. Offerdahl finished 3rd on the team in tackles and was named to his 4th consecutive Pro Bowl and 3rd as a starter. And while his ticket to the Pro Bowl was bought at the expense of opponents whom he made pay, he was by no means the Dolphins' only big hitter. Trademarks of this young and intimidating defense are hard hits and even harder work, which is only fitting because this team reflects the image of its founder, Joe Robbie. On December 1st, 1985, Robbie broke ground for the stadium which bears his name. Critics scoffed at the prospect of building a state-of-the-art facility entirely with private funds. But what had never been done before became a tribute to Robbie's vision, because Joe Robbie Stadium is among the most modern and beautiful sports arenas in the country. Those who knew Joe Robbie knew he never feared being first. In 1966, he brought pro football to Miami, and by 1972, his club was the first and only to accomplish the unthinkable, a perfect season culminating in the first of back-to-back Super Bowl victories.
I've always said that if you enjoy everything you do, every minute that you're up, you're not working. And in that sense, I'm not working because I enjoy everything about being in professional football. I think we're some of the luckiest people on earth.
Joe Robbie died on January 7th of this year. For his accomplishments, he will be remembered. For his spirit, he will be missed. Reggie Roby was selected as the AFC's Pro Bowl punter for the second time by pinning opponents deep in their own territory with his accurate right foot. These are the hands of a Pro Bowl performer, and they belong to Farrell Edmonds, the first Dolphin tight end to be so honored. In his 2 seasons, Edmonds has established himself as a premier tight end with his smart play and soft hands.
Here is the quick drop. Pass, but by Edmonds. He drags a tackler with him. He's in for the score. Farrell Edmonds gets in for the touchdown.
He may well be the prototype for the 90s, with the speed to beat defensive backs and the guts to bury linebackers. The kind of player around whom a game plan could be built. But in Week 4 against the Oilers, Don Shula had to scrap a game plan which was never given a chance. For with youth and its promise comes mistakes. Those mistakes cost Miami a 39-7 loss and gave them a lot to think about heading into Week 5 against the Browns. Sporting a 1-3 record, the Dolphins needed a win against playoff-bound Cleveland. But while Bernie Kosar came back to his old college town, it was the Dolphins' defense which went to town. Miami's defense manhandled the Browns, holding them to a paltry 10 points while intercepting Kosar twice. On offense, Dan Marino provided the spark with a 35-yard piece of perfection to Mark Duper. Yet at the end of regulation, the score was tied at 10. And the Dolphins would call on rookie kicker Pete Stoyanovich to rise to the occasion.
Buell says, are you ready? The snap, good snap, set down, the kick is up. This time it is good! And the Dolphins win it 13-10. 8:32 left to play in the overtime. So the Dolphins upset the Browns 13-10.
The next week, Miami traveled to the jungle, where the Bengals hadn't lost in 12 consecutive games. That streak would not reach 13.
third down and goal at the 1-yard line. All the blockers set inside up front. Here's Marino, bootlegs. He runs. He gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
Dan Marino's first rushing touchdown in 2 years was the difference, as Miami evened its record at 3-3 with a 20-13 win over the defending AFC champions. Miami's offensive line has made a difference for 8 consecutive years. For each of those years, the Dolphins allowed the fewest sacks in the NFL. Harry Galbraith, Jeff Dollenbach, Roy Foster, and rookie Jeff Uhlenhake are the very best in a very brutal business. They're so good, they didn't allow a sack for 19 consecutive games, another all-time league mark. It is from behind this immovable object of strength and sweat that the NFL's most irresistible object is launched. Dan Marino, doubtless one of the NFL's all-time greats. In '89, he ranked first in the AFC in both completions and passing yardage. Marino now holds virtually every Dolphin career passing mark. Marino's numerous league marks stand as testimony to his greatness.
Back he goes to throw in the pocket, deep across the middle. Clayton, 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
But records stand in books, while Marino the man stands in the pocket. And no one stands there taller or makes miracles happen with more regularity.
Marino in the shotgun, everybody coming, steps in the pocket. He's throwing it deep down for the corner of the end zone. Up they go. The ball is tipped in the air. It's caught for a touchdown.
That was unbelievable.
Let's see if they go for the Hail Mary. Marino back to throw. He steps up in the pocket. He heaves it down in the end zone. Up they will go for it. It's tipped in the air. It's caught for a touchdown. Holy Toledo.
A miracle worker? Well, maybe. But one thing is certain. It will be years before anyone resembling Dan Marino appears in the NFL. There's no mistaking who Dan Marino's big play receiver is. Mark Clayton led the Dolphins in receptions for the third time, snaring 64 for over 1,000 yards.
Throw has time, goes for the corner of the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Mark Clayton. Marino, the shotgun, throws for the corner of the end zone. Clayton, touchdown. Marino on the snap, drops to throw, fires in the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Mark Clayton.
Clayton regularly turned first downs into touchdowns, finishing the season with 9, good for second in the AFC. While Clayton can usually be spotted from the end zone, one has to follow the ball to spot Miami's specialist in versatility. '89 was perhaps Jim Jensen's greatest year. In addition to captaining the special teams, this man in motion caught 61 passes, 6 for touchdowns. But Jensen is dangerous from any position on the field.
There's the snap, play fake, swings it out to Jensen. This is going to be a flea flicker right up the end zone. Is Edmonds.
And that one couldn't have been more perfect.
And heading into Week 7 against the Packers, Jensen and the Dolphins knew they would have to be just as perfect to win.
All right! Yeah! Oh, yeah! Sack the pack! Sack the
pack the pack is not back today. We second the pack.
The Dolphins did just that. While Dan Marino rolled up over 300 yards passing, including 2 scores.
Here it is, drops the throw. He looks right, across the middle. He's got Clayton, touchdown. Clayton took it right away for Mark Murphy, the strong safety.
Good job, man. Way to go, Mark. Good catch, man.
But late in the 4th quarter, the score was tied as the Dolphins set their sights on a win.
Come on, put it through, just like practice now.
If he makes it, the Dolphins win. Awaiting the snap. Here it is, set down, kick is up. It's good! Stoyanovich gives the Dolphins a 23-20 lead with 6 seconds to go.
Congratulations, Don. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
The way we lost the first couple games, it was devastating. I mean, I was just so happy. I mean, it was just great to see it go through, and that's all I was looking at, was through those goalposts.
In Week 9, the Dolphins stood at 4-4 and went trolling for a win against rival Indianapolis. It was no contest.
Here's the snap. He looks, he fires. It is caught into the end zone for a touchdown. Goes Andre Brown.
Wide receiver Andre Brown tied a Dolphin record for touchdown receptions by a rookie, a record he would break 2 weeks later. But in the interim, the Dolphins found themselves on the wrong end of a rout in Week 10 against the Jets. Coach Shula had cause for concern, but then he also has Dan Marino and the league's most explosive offense.
The snap, back he goes, across the middle, swings, 40, 50, he's gonna go! 30, out of the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and there are no flags as Scott Sweden scores. Marino back to throw, under pressure, going deep, he's got a man down there, Clayton, good, touchdown, 20, 15.
Miami scored 28 unanswered points to secure the win. But the day's most memorable moment came from free safety Louis Oliver. Opponents were wise to flinch at the sight of number 25, Louis Oliver, and strong safety Jarvis Williams, for they play with a soaring spirit that sends bodies flying. These former Florida teammates patrolled the secondary with uncanny vision and vengeance. Oliver led the team in interceptions this season with 4, while Williams tied for second on the team, having led the Dolphins the year before. Young and aggressive, the B-2 Bombers are going to shut down enemy passers' airways for many years to come. After defeating Dallas in Week 11, the Dolphins had won 6 of their last 7 games, and with a 7-4 record were tied for first in the AFC East. Then came the rain, and the wider the skies opened, the more Pittsburgh poured it on. The Dolphins dropped 4 of their last 5 decisions in '89, but one decision was decidedly brighter, and that was drafting a native son in the first round. Sammy Smith never failed to shine, picking up 21 yards on his very first carry as a pro. With the speed to go outside and the heart to go over the top, few things will stop this young and rising star. Youth and talent. Miami's got it, and the rest of the NFL had better take notice. With the winningest active coach leading the team with the best record in all of professional sports since the 1970 league merger, the Dolphins are a team on the move.
On the run, grabs it 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45 to the 40, 30, out of the 25, the 20, he's going to go, 5, touchdown Dolphins.
'89 was a season of consistent improvement for the Miami Dolphins. Their equation for success was a special chemistry of old pros with shining pasts and young Turks with bright futures. But '89 was only a preview of things to come. It was a prelude to glory.